station building. And from there, we used coal, which was basically what this was for, was to store coal and build up steam to run our pumps. And we didn't actually move into electricity until the 1950s. So, and I don't see us going back anytime soon. Here at Metro Water, we cover most of the Davidson County area. We have a few spots where other utilities cover, mostly over to the west and north side of Nashville. But at the same time, we can also feed water to other counties and utilities that surround Davidson County, which is most of Nashville. We've got over 30 reservoirs. We've got, oh gosh, over 50 water pumping stations around Davidson County. We've got over 112 to 115 sewer stations that we have. Now on top of that, we've got 2 water treatment plants. And we've got 3 wastewater and 1 biosolids, which basically takes waste from what is gathered in the wastewater plants and makes pellets out of them to sell as fertilizer. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and give you a tour. I'll take you up onto the 2nd floor, kind of show you a little bit of our control room, what we basically see throughout the whole system. Here at this plant, we control all of our water treatment plant, well not all of our water treatment, all of our water pumping stations. We also can control our collection system. So we monitor most of that. So what we'll do, we'll go out this other door to the other side and we'll head up.
That's funny.
Sweet monitors.
Many TVs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So as you guys are looking through the mezzanine and see the big screen, that's been the new addition. We've had that for about 3, almost 4 years now. The control room we had previous to this was built, if I remember correctly, it was like 1967. So we were a little behind, but it was honestly, I like it. Right? Anyway, it's a lot cleaner. Everything's a lot newer. So the big screen, we can divide that up into multiple screens and pull up multiple things to see at one time. Right now, they've got our reservoir page pulled up, so they can monitor reservoir levels. As you can see to the right of each reservoir, you've got a low alarm and high alarm. Kind of let us know when things are beginning to fall out or if something's getting too full. Also, if you look just to the left of the screen, we have like a small map over to the left of the big screen, and that is our area that we cover. And we can go to that and kind of see different pipes and things like that, which is just something quick if we can't get to our GIS fast enough and we just need to go kind of get a quick glance, we can go there and look at that. But what someone is in here 24/7, so like I said, they monitor distribution and at the same time they monitor collection. So from this control room, we can call out our route crews, call different plants, let them know what kind of situation they're in. Currently, no. That I would hope, but as of right now, no. I see the big benefit. It's been talked about. Going to GIS, closing a couple valves here and monitoring flow just to see what would happen. That hasn't happened yet. I know it is in the talk.
Is this all SCADA driven?
It is SCADA.
Contentious.
There's 2 others in there now.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You got a break somewhere. But we'll call out the route service just to go check the pump, make sure that something it didn't go into a backspin or something like that. But we'll also call system service and kind of give them an area of where the break could possibly be based off low pressure. So, and sometimes it could be demand, it happens, but not usually. You can tell the difference between a break and high demand. So, all right. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr.
Yes. Before we head out, I'm going to take you to our pumping station. Before we go in there, it's a little loud, but most of our pumps are anywhere from 10 million to 48 million gallon pumps. Back in 2010, I don't know, is anybody here from Nashville or nobody? Okay, so you're gonna hear me say y'all. Yeah, we all say y'all. So if you can't tell by now. In 2010, we had a flood that pretty much took out most of our water treatment plants, took out our other water treatment plant, which is out at KR Harrington. It's close to Opryland. I don't know if y'all been out to Opryland. It took that out, so we were the only water treatment plant running, and at that time we were pumping about 90 million gallons per day just from us, but we still had to put restrictions on water usage out in the system.
What is the capacity of this plant?
We can do 90. Both plants can do 90. At this time, I think we're doing like about 90, 80, 88, 89, somewhere in there. And it's our winter month. When summer comes up, we're doing easily 110 to 120 between the two plants. So I will take you out to close to the river, let you guys see we've got a marker to kind of let you know about where the water level got to. And we were about 8 inches from going under. So if we would have went under, Nashville would have been without water for probably a good week. And a lot of people don't understand the importance of water until they don't have it. And then it's, I understand people, I like the police and the fire department and all that too, but if you don't have water, you don't have police, you don't have a fire department, you don't have hospitals, you don't have restaurants, and I love to eat, so. So I understand the importance, and honestly, I was the same way. I didn't know anything. I thought, turn on the tap, there's no water, but a lot goes into it. So, like I said, we'll get moving, and I'll show you the water pumping station.
Yes, where did you say reservoir?
In from the river and send it across the street to our filtration. there, I'll kind of show you a little bit about how we do the filtration. So feel free to take a look around. We can go out the back and look at the river if you like. I won't be able to take you out to our number 2 tank. We kind of got a big crowd, but you can definitely see it. I would say you're probably maybe 60 feet maybe. Give or take. How far does it go, do you know? We're pretty close. I mean, it's maybe another 10 feet, maybe 5. So, to kind of give you an idea, this pump here, 3 low service. We've got 2. We got 3 low service. We got 4 low service. These pumps are what we call variable speed pumps. They can pump anywhere from 0 to 48 million gallons per day. The number 7 pump that you see kind of down lower is a 25 million gallon pump. But it is not variable speed. So once you cut that pump on, that's what you get. They're all building. So we got 2 drives that are upstairs, and we got the rest of the second floor. That's a good question. Over there. Might be on the other side.
That's 40 million gallons per day.
48 days.
48. That's 25.
Yep, that was 25. So we got 2 of these. We got the 25. We got 2 10 million gallons. And the next one.
So we're kind of level with the river now.
Correct.
This consumption line here going into the river.
That's right. We got a couple of wells on the outside that pull the water through some screens and things like that. And the river sits off maybe 100 feet from here. So
Y'all didn't have any issues with the flood, water getting in here?
oh yeah. Yeah, water was all in here. And like I said, we got about 8 inches from going completely out. So we had a bunch of these huge sump pumps pulling water out. So especially all done by hand in 1888. They didn't have a lot of this stuff at Home Depot back then. So we're pretty well below the surface. Correct. You can see some of the pipes that may go out below us. And those go out to our wells, which are closest to the river. And then from there, they've got screens to keep all the debris and stuff like that out. Come in from there. So again, this next area is going to be a little tight. I'll just ask you to be careful. That's a good question. I will show you now.
They were all treated by sea before. That valve over here is more like valve stage. That's the valve.
What is
The numbers?
Yes.
All right, so the 50.8 is our flow.
Okay.
The 119 is our pressure.
Oh, okay.
So we got a max of about 124 pounds of pressure we send out of here.
Thank you.
I'll take you up that.
Oh, it says it in there. I'm freaking blind.
It would have completely covered our
So guys, this is a marker for where the flood came up.
So you'd almost be at least knee to waist deep in water just standing here.
Wow,
So
that is incredible.
this is Cumberland River. I know multiple utility districts, White House, Hendersonville. We took over Old Hickory, Madison pulled from it. Multiple utilities just here in Davidson County pull from this river. And this right here is what we call our number 4 intake. So from number 4 intake, we've got the intake is actually in the center of the river, and it pulls water from the center of the river and brings it into the plant. The one that's just right there off the bank of the river is what we call our number 2 intake, and it pulls water directly from where it is. Number 4 is a screen intake where it has multiple rotating streams which constantly go up and down, catching debris and then blowing it off before it comes into our pumps. Number 2 intake is where we got an air burst system. So those streams actually sit down in the river, and as they begin to collect debris, we send a shot of air through them, and it blows that off. It causes the debris to clear off, and then it goes right back into the river. It's starting to drizzle a little bit. Real quick, right here would be potassium permanganate. It's an oxidizer. That's how we kind of kill off bacteria and things that's in the water before it comes across the street. Give it a little bit of a detention time. We can also feed carbon here, which is a powder activated carbon, which is a taste and odor issue. But normally we don't feed it here, we just feed the potassium permanganate. We'll go ahead and head back in and then take you across the street and show you filtration. To me, that's a lot more interesting than pumps. But, yeah. Tell you about our low service pumps. Those low service pumps bring the raw water, river water, over to what we call our grit tanks. And as you can see, the water coming up on that end, this is number 1 grit tank. We got number 2 grit tank on the other end. So they split. So number 1 grit tank, you see the water coming up. Right there is where we dose it with powder activated carbon. Give it a little bit of detention time to get rid of taste and odor issues that we have in river water. From there, that water begins to move here to work with the carbon. We've also hit it with a little bit of alum for coagulation. From there, it moves in and it goes in through our flash mix, where it could be hit with lime, or it could also be used, we can use polymer, which is a coagulant aid. So alum doesn't work very well in cold water. So what we use is a polymer, which is a coagulant aid, and it works really well in cold water. So it helps build up that coagulation and then moves it into our flocculators. Then from our flocculators, which are just behind you, we've got mixers in there, and that kind of helps that coagulation and flocculation take place. And you can maybe see the little pinpoint flock that is in there. You kind of have to really stare at it moving around. That's the dirt particles and stuff that's inside the river water. And then from there, it'll move over to what we call our clarifiers, or you may hear some people say settling basins. And then from there, when it moves into there, it begins to settle all that dirt and sludge that's in the water. It begins to settle down, and then as it comes up, the clean water comes up, the flock begins to settle down to the bottom. So we get that clean water, which then goes into our filters. So to kind of give you an idea,
we use turbidimeters. I don't know if anybody's ever familiar with what a turbidimeter is. Basically what it is, we put water in a cell, and then we put that cell into a turbidimeter, and then from there it shoots a ray of light. From there, whatever light reflects back to the machine lets you know how dirty or clean the water is. Well, from the river, it can go from anywhere, normally we're around 4 or 5, of a level of 4 or 5. It can go all the way up, if we're getting mud, like heavy rain, we go up to over 100. By the time it gets through our clarifiers or our settling basins, it's already down to a 1. So, and then from there, when it goes inside, the state of Tennessee says that we cannot send out water to Metro Nashville or anywhere under a 0.3. So from a 5 to a point, I mean, right now we're running about a 0.05. So that's a huge difference in the water quality from river. And you think about that, people that lived here back when this pumping station was first built, and I'll get a little bit more on that, they were drinking straight river water or out of the streams or something like that. Yeah, and I'm sure it wasn't as polluted either. I mean, you didn't have DuPont or somewhere like, you know, dumping chemicals in. Not to crap on DuPont, but anyway, sorry. So from there, back in 1888, they decided to build the pumping station. And from there, we've got a reservoir on 8th Avenue, which is close to the Hilton and conference area that you guys were at. From there, they would pump water from here all the way up to the 8th Avenue Reservoir. It held about 50 million gallons of water. Half of it, it was split in half. So when that 25 million gallon water went into one side, it had these little tiers on the edge that it would kind of spill over to. So that settled water would spill over into the other side. And that's the water that went out to the Nashville, or people in the Nashville area. And that was, from what I'm understanding, was a lot of gravity-fed water. So, and of course, back then they were probably pulling from wells too. So kind of getting back to all this, I'll take you through the process. As I said, raw water comes in from number 1 grit or number 2 grit. They're both the same. Comes down, runs through our flash mix. We add chemicals like lime. It raises our pH in the water, keeps it above a 7.0. From there, it moves into our flocculators, which help mix the chemicals a little more, help build that flock up so we can settle the dirt out. Then it moves over into our settling basin. We can make a little thing down a fluidway that's just up underneath here. Then it moves in right here, right behind us, to the inflow valve. From there, that water, you can actually see a little bit better here, a flock that is in the water begins to settle down. There's openings up underneath the walls here. From there, that water moves up underneath while the flock settles down to the bottom. So once the flock settles down to the bottom, the water moves up underneath the little opening under the wall. It comes up through the little blue, what we call tube settlers. And from there, those are slanted. So any flock that's trying to make its way back up, it gets caught up in those tube settlers, and because it's slanted, it'll try to push that flock back down to the bottom. And then from there, the flock, once it settles down to the bottom, we have flight and chains that move around the bottom to kind of scrape that sludge down to the end of our drain. So once that water comes up through the tube settlers, it goes over these weirs, and from there, it goes into our effluent. It moves its way inside to the top of our filters. The tube settlers, if we did not have those, the water detention time that water would have to stay in these clarifiers is 4 hours, or at least 4 hours. So because we have those tube settlers, we knock that time down from 4 hours to 1 hour. So it helps us produce a lot more water quicker. You guys have any questions? I know I kind of went over a lot. It's probably, I don't know how much actually deal with water, but kind of get in. Drake? He's here? No, I don't think he's all the water. Oh, you talking about that? Oh, the blue? It's trying to make its way up, gets caught up in that flock blanket, and it keeps all that down. Now, if the guy across the street decides he wants to send 10 million gallons of water like that, it sends that surge, which could disrupt that flock blanket and push a lot of that flock up. So we kind of tell them, you know, ease it up a little bit, slowly. Don't wake the baby. So that building. Not only that, you get up to 90 million. The rib tank, you can fill up so much water. That extension. Once it runs through that, it goes through our flash mix. Then we got the process of it flowing out the flash mix. Each one, honestly, each one of these filters is rated for 4 million gallons. We got 30 of them. So therefore, we could do, if we had to, 120. But we couldn't get 120. All right. So this is our filtration building. As I was telling you, the building, pumping station was built in 1888. Basically, all I did was pump river water to our 8th Avenue reservoir, and then from there, it was sent out to the city. I guess maybe some kind of outbreak or something happened, and they decided maybe we need to filter this water. So in 1928, they built the first 18 filters that we're standing at now, and then from there, they built 12 more as time went on. So this was built 1828, or sorry, 1928. The water that we saw coming off of our clarifiers comes into the building here. From there, it goes into each one of these filters. It goes in on the top, and it goes down to our meter, which is rock, sand, and inside. It goes down through the filters, and then from there, it goes into our clear well. And then from the clear well, we inject, don't use chlorine gas, we actually generate salt. So from there, what's easy to the clear wells, we now use bleach, we use chloride or fluorosilicate acid. We also use phosphate, which coats the pipes. And when I was talking about using lines to keep our pH above 7.0, we don't like to see pH drop below 7.2. So when we're using that phosphate, I don't know if anybody's doing Michigan. They had a big issue years ago, I don't remember. But basically lead in the pipe and other things were probably bad water. So of course Nashville's pretty old too. We don't want to have that problem. So when we use that phosphate, what that does is it coats those lead pipes, causing them not to leak. So if we drop down below a 7.0, the phosphate we're putting back out there, if water at a 7.0 is a neutral, anything below 7.0 becomes acidic. So if we don't keep that pH, kind of defeat the purpose of putting the phosphate out there. So we just want to kind of keep that up, keep it alkaline water.
Sorry.
Other than that, once it's in the clear well and we've added those 3 chemicals, then we send it, the pumping station has those high service pumps that we saw at first. They pull water out of those clear wells and send it out to most Davidson County, Nashville. Okay.
Instead of filters, rocks, and what else?
Anthracite, it's almost like a, every now and then you'll see it's floating around.
No, that's great.
It's like a real grainy, it's like a charcoal texture. Any questions on our filter building?
Like I said, we've got 30 filters, and they're all rated for 4 million gallon per day filters. But again, we're only rated due to our pumping station and our setup to be around 90 million. No, this is actually, none of this works anymore. We've actually went to the Yeah, these right here are for the valves. So you got like your influent, your effluent. When we backwash a filter, a guy, almost took 2 people to do it. A guy would be down here working the valves, and when he was ready to send backwash water up through the filter to clean it, he'd have to kind of yell down to the guys at the end of the hall, hit the valve, and he'd hit the valve and send it this way for work. Now this has been in place now for probably...
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
And the reason that they put these touch panels kind of back a little bit is so when you're down on that end of the hallway, you look down, it all goes into the bridge. Honestly, I would like to see like a hook up, just have a camera, be anything there. Anyway,
You said this was 1888, and the next phase was 14?
no, this first 28 was 1928. I believe they added 2 more about 10 years later, and then they added the back 10. I want to say. But the pumping station on shore is 1880. So they're for yeah. I mean, you look at 40 years. Sending it down and letting it just naturally settle out.
Cold shoes.
It was kind of down where you guys were. I guess it's around the conference area. All that down around 1st and 2nd Avenue, completely flooded. Opryland, it flooded the hotel. Opry Mills, the shopping center next to it, completely flooded it. Nashville was down for a good week, really about 2 weeks, where everybody started coming to get back out. We were on restrictions. I mean, we basically had to let people know you can't start your fire or the sprinkler system, the water go on, car washes were cut off. I mean, it was, for a lot of people that was hard. I don't know why. It's every week for us. Yeah. Oh, you know that, and I've looked at a lot of that. Read some things about these farms fighting for water. One farm drill lower than the other, and then goes back to the It's a mess. It's unfortunate that a lot of people don't realize that at least 12% of our produce and food comes from California. A lot of people think that's no big deal. Big deal. I like almonds. We don't have those. I don't know where you're at, and they're like underground reservoirs. Well, there's a huge aquifer that runs from the southern part of Kentucky all the way down to Louisiana. They've now noticed that that's starting to dry up too. A lot of people may not see that as a big deal. They'll go get water from the Mississippi, but transport water can be very costly. So while people are complaining about your $30 or $40 water bill, it's not really that bad. You can imagine. And we're talking here at Nashville, you go to your local gas station to go grab a bottle of water, well, it's at least $2 almost. For that bottle of water, that's $2. Here we can sell you 3 gallons for a penny. People complain about that. The other part about going to the store and buying that water, where did it come from? How long did it take to get here? What were their state regulations? Are they the same as here? You know, are they using the same? What's the process? You don't know that. At least here,
we're under strict state guidelines and federal guidelines that we have to abide by, that we can't go past. You're basically buying somebody else's tap water. Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. But, so anyway, that's my spiel.